North Cascades National Park is one of the few remaining national parks in the United States that is not completely overrun by visitors. You won't find the park packed with tourists, but what you will find is nearly unparalleled beauty of the jagged mountain peaks, forested valleys, cascading waterfalls, and over 300 glaciers, more than any other U.S. park outside of Alaska. All right then, so here are the top things to see and do in this little slice of alpine heaven. One of the great pleasures of being in the park is the drive. The North Cascades Highway pierces right through the heart of the park. The highway stops by viewpoints such as Diablo Lake Overlook and Washington Pass Overlook. Both afford great views and even better photographs. Speaking of photography, if you like taking photos, you will love the North Cascades. There is a lifetime of photography in this park with mountain peaks and alpine meadows right at your doorstep. One of the great viewpoints in the park, of course, is this one, the Diablo Lake Overlook. Diablo Lake Overlook is easy to access off of Highway 20, and there is a generously sized parking lot. You only have to walk a few feet to enjoy the beautiful view of this turquoise-colored lake. Yet another of the spectacular viewpoints is the Gorge Lake Overlook. Once again, parking is easy and adjacent to Highway 20. A short but beautiful walk leads to a collection of viewpoints, and there's also a pedestrian bridge walkway with views of Gorge Creek Falls and the lake. Washington Pass Overlook offers spectacular views of Liberty Bell Mountain and early winter's spires. This viewpoint is particularly beautiful in the fall. From this vantage point, it is easy to see why the North Cascades are called the American Alps. The North Cascades National Park has over 400 miles of hiking trails suitable for all skill levels, including short hikes of under 2 hours to full day or multiple day hikes. But that being said, do your own research and check in with the Visitor Center for updates on trail and weather conditions. The North Cascades is popular amongst the climbing community, and the park has more than 300 glaciers, as we already mentioned, inviting to be explored. For information on climbing, you can visit the Wilderness Information Center at Marble Mount or check out the National Park website for information on permits and route conditions. If you love biking, then come to this park. There's biking and cyclists actually everywhere, so be careful if you're driving. Bicycles are permitted on all roads that are open to the public, but they're not permitted on the trails. Kayaking, canoeing, and motorboating are popular on Gorge, Diablo, and Ross Lakes, as well as Lake Chelan. There are boat ramps if you do like to bring your own boat, but be sure your boat is permitted to be used in the park. If you prefer rafting, well, this is available too on the Skagit River, which is actually the river I'm standing right on the edge of. Fishing is permitted in the park, and the Skagit River is a popular place for trout, steelhead, and salmon fishing. Being a national park in an alpine setting, it's predictable that there is wildlife, and there's lots of it. There's over 200 species of birds, 75 mammal species, wolverines, river otters, mountain goats, cougars, lynx, bobcats, gray wolves, and black bears. The national park also says that elk and moose have been seen in the park. Now, as for grizzlies, they have been spotted in the area, but truthfully, they're very rare in North Cascades. I've always considered the North Cascades to not be an individual park by itself, but actually more of a part of a community of parks and recreational areas. The nearby surrounding areas are quite special, and in some cases far busier than the actual national park. The Mount Baker Snoqualmie National Forest is my favorite area of the Cascades. In the winter, there is skiing at Mount Baker Ski Resort, and during the summer, the area can be explored by vehicle or by hiking. Some of my favorite areas include the world-famous Picture Lake, Bagley Lakes, and the unbelievably amazing Artist Point. If you can, please experience a sunrise at Artist Point with Mount Shuksan on one side and Mount Baker on the other. It will take your breath away.
Stehekin is located on Lake Chelan. There is no road into Stehekin. There are 2 ferry companies that actually do provide passenger service to Stehekin, but you can also take a private boat, small plane, or travel there by foot or horseback. The Lake Chelan National Recreation Area centers around the remarkable Lake Chelan, which is a 50-mile-long glacial lake surrounded by rugged mountains and is one of the country's deepest lakes. The centerpiece for Ross Lake National Recreation Area is Ross Lake, a strikingly beautiful reservoir formed by the damming of the Skagit River. The lake stretches for more than 23 miles and is surrounded by lush forests and towering peaks. At more than 2.2 million acres, Wenatchee National Forest is about the same size as Yellowstone, so it is huge. The Okanagan National Forest is 1.6 million acres in size and borders Canada.
And don't forget some fun and interesting small towns nearby, including Winthrop, Leavenworth, and Chelan.
If this video has given you some value, please consider liking the video and subscribing to the channel. So there you go, the very much underappreciated and exquisite North Cascades National Park.